And pondering, yo, come in, thumbs up this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, hit all notifications so you have my videos in your possession each and every time I go live or I do uploads. I hope y'all all doing well. You know what I mean? I wanted to come and talk about the Bahamas rejecting President Trump. His transition team is trying to, pretty much trying to find ways to get migrants out of the United States and send them to other countries. I feel as though if you're a migrant and you came from your country, you should go back to your country. So it seems as though that a lot of these countries, from what I'm learning, that they're leaving from, whether Venezuela or, whatever country they're leaving from, some of them don't want to take them back. I don't know if it's due to their history, their crime history, whatever, right? But I feel like it's wrong for them to try to overwhelm different countries who already are probably struggling with crime, economically, just different things like that. Well, the Bahamas, they rejected President Trump's his proposal for the migrants to come over there. So before I play this clip, I just want to say this. So I seen this on Twitter, and it said the office of the Prime Minister wishes to address the recent reports regarding a proposal from Trump's transition team in the United States for the Bahamas to accept migrants, to accept deportation flights of migrants from other countries. This matter was presented to the government of the Bahamas, but it was reviewed and firmly rejected by the Prime Minister. This is how I firmly feel. Do not try to dump the issues that we don't even want to deal with over here in this country. And I understand Trump, he's trying to clean this up because this is something that he's promised to the people. And I'm going to be honest with you. I want to see action. I want to see this country cleaned up. Get out of my country. I told y'all how that white lady was screaming that before. It was a clip. She's like, get out of my country. Listen. They talk about how so many undocumented and people coming over here illegal. Illegal is illegal. When could we go over to another country and do something illegally and get away with it and still be there without facing repercussion? So listen, I want to play this clip for you from a news station that I seen. Let's just check this out real briefly, and then I'm gonna come right back and do some commentary.
We begin in the United States. President-elect Donald Trump's team is making a list of nations to which migrants will be deported if their home countries refuse to accept them. This list reportedly includes the Bahamas, a tourist hotspot in the Caribbean that has now rejected the president-elect's proposal. The Bahamas says it does not have the resources to accept deportation flights of migrants from other countries.
The Office of the Prime Minister wishes to address recent reports regarding a proposal from the Trump transition team in the United States for the Bahamas to accept deportation flights of migrants from other countries. This matter was presented to the government of the Bahamas, but was reviewed and firmly rejected by the Prime Minister. Since the Prime Minister's rejection of this proposal, there has been no further engagement or discussions with the Trump transition team or any other entity regarding this matter.
Now, apart from the Bahamas, Donald Trump's list of reportedly includes Mexico, Panama, Grenada, and the Turks and Caicos Islands. The plan could mean that thousands of migrants are permanently deported from the United States to countries they have no connection with. Now, it's unclear whether these migrants would be able to legally work and live in the countries to which they are in fact deported. Meanwhile, Donald Trump would force these countries to agree to his proposal. How he would do so remains a mystery. But what is clear is that the incoming president is adamant about expelling millions of people living in the United States illegally.
The United States is now an occupied country, but it will soon be an occupied country no longer. Not going to be happening. Not going to be happening. On day one, I will launch the largest deportation program in American history to get the criminals out. I will rescue every city and town that has been invaded and conquered, and we will put these vicious and bloodthirsty criminals in jail. We're going to kick them the hell out of our country as fast as possible.
The incoming Trump administration has also vowed to round up and deport foreigners belonging to rival countries like China. Meanwhile, Mexico is hoping to strike a deal with Donald Trump to limit non-Mexican deportees it could receive from the United States.
Obviously, we stand in solidarity with everyone, but our main purpose is to receive Mexicans, and we hope to reach an agreement with the Trump administration so that, in case these massive deportations happen, they send people from other countries directly to their countries of origin.
Notably, the U.S.-Mexico border has become a place where migrants from around the world are gathering with hopes of crossing into the United States. And experts estimate that around 4 million Mexicans currently live in the United States without proper documentation and face the threat of deportation. Hence, Mexico cannot afford to exhaust its resource over non-Mexican deportees, as those would be needed to accommodate its own citizens.
I think this immigration policy proposed by the President Claudia Sheinbaum is much more complex than that of the previous government. Still, we do not know anything, there is no support, there is no government presence in accompanying these caravans.
The way I see it, Donald Trump is pressuring her, because Claudia Sheinbaum is not going to say something like that on her own initiative. That's because Trump is pressuring her to say things.
And like any other country, Mexico is not obligated to accept third country deportees. However, it has agreed to do so in the past. The migrants Mexico accepted hailed from countries like Venezuela, Cuba, Haiti, and Nicaragua, which are difficult for Washington to approach directly due to diplomatic or political.
Listen, I don't think any country should have to take on the population from another country. Listen, I understand political asylum and all of that, right? But what I was just making some notes of, just to make sure that I address, they said that people being deported to, or, you know, shipped on a plane to different countries they have no connection to. You have no connection to the United States. This is not your country. You understand? We don't just fly out to other countries or try to migrate to other countries and we have no connection to. Like, we might go over there on vacation. You come over here on vacation and then you leave, right? So, yeah, man, like, I just don't understand that. Like, you know, talking about, like, listen. Do not send people to countries they don't belong to. Do not send them to the Bahamas, to Grenada. It's like these countries are already have their own thing going on. And, you know, it kind of gives me the vibes of, you know, if say they did do a mass deportation and drop them off in the Bahamas or Grenada, right? Like, those are islands. Like, first and foremost, why would you want to do that to the black people over there? Didn't you already learn what happened to Haiti? Like, that country has a history from the beginning of just being, this is why it's in an uproar now, and they're calling it a failed state. Like, don't do that to the Bahamas. Don't do that to Grenada. Don't do that to any country at all. Send them back to their own country. You understand? Whatever, listen, I understand. And I feel like this. A person who serves everybody serves no one at all. Listen, we can, in this world, even in the United States, people passing on and being unalived every day. We can't save everybody. It's impossible to do that, right? People don't understand the risk of even coming over here from another country. That's dangerous in itself. That is dangerous in itself. Like, you know, what they have to go through, going through Mexico, like the cartels, like just a number of things, right? People traveling in caravans to try to like get over to the United States. It's not legal. It's not right. And I don't think that we should be dumping the issues onto another country, mass deportating to another country. No. To the Bahamas? Nah, they got their own thing going on over there. They have their own issues going on. So listen, I want you to get in the comments. Let me know what you think about the Bahamas. No other nations have spoke out yet. But this is Trump's transition team. And listen, I applaud Trump because it shows that he's trying to figure out a way to get these people out. But I think the right thing to get them out is to deport them back to the country of origin. That's just how I personally feel. So let's move on. So the next thing I want to talk about is Tiffany Henyard. So Tiffany Henyard, you know, everything that happened with her and Napoleon Harris. Napoleon Harris is running for the supervisor of Dorton Township, right? So Tiffany was outside, you know, she was at the event. They wouldn't let them in. She got in. It seemed like everybody was overpowering her. The claps, you know, the applause and all of that. So she was not nominated for to be voted for the next year in regards to the supervisor seat, right? So Tiffany, she's having some sort of rally or march today in Thornton, and I seen it, and I just wanted to come and talk about it. So, you know, she wrote this note on her on her Instagram, and she said, "Thornton Township family, I stand before you today as your leader and your sister in the fight for justice, the fight for fairness. This fight is for our democracy. On December 7th, which is today, and I think it already ended. It's Chicago Central Time. I think it may be Central Time, so it may have just ended. So from Saturday, December 7th, from noon to 7, come with us at the ILU Club of Chicago. It's in Dalton. She is calling everyone, man, woman, child, to come and stand with her as they demand accountability. Stand with me to fight back against our corruption. Stand with me to protect. Stand with me to protect our our sacred right to vote. So yeah, I do think that, listen, let me just tell you this, right? Because I'm gonna read a comment that someone said, and in Tiffany's comments as well. I do think that he should have allowed Tiffany to be on the ballot, to be voted for. If y'all hate her so much, let her be voted out. Why can't you win fair and square, right? So she said, what we witnessed at the Democratic caucus was nothing short of an affront to democracy. Hundreds of us, your friends, your family, your neighbors, stood in the cold, waiting outside, waiting for the opportunity to cast our vote. And while we stood there in the bitter air, they let their friends in through the side door. So she's saying that, and she said that they have proof of this too, that they let people into the side door. They didn't let Tiffany's camp come in to support her. Right? She said, let me make this clear to you. This was not an accident. This was not a misunderstanding. This was a deliberate act of voter suppression. And if they prove this, listen, let her get her name on there. If Napoleon is that great, if Napoleon Harris is that great, let him win fair and square, right? I feel as though that he may be threatened. And this is what Tiffany is saying too. She said, we have the proof. This took place. We have it on video. We have the testimony of witnesses and people who saw directly what happened, right? Let me tell you this. She said, she didn't mention his name, but she's talking about him. She said, let me tell you this. He's a coward, because if he thought that he was going to win, he would have let the people in. He didn't just portray the process. He betrayed the people. Okay. This isn't the 1920s where women or people of color were denied the right to vote. This isn't Jim Crow, where voter suppression was written into law. But make no mistake, what happened to us is just as wrong. And I agree, right? Okay, so she's just pretty much saying, like, where you could come support her at. I'm pretty sure it's over at this time now, because it looks like, what time is it? I'm in Houston, Texas, where they used to talk in reckless. So it's 3:56. So it probably just got over about an hour ago. They wrapping up now. But listen, I want to say this as it pertains to Tiffany Henyard. I think, some people don't have sympathy for her based on, her attitude and the way that she may have carried on, during this whole process of people like questioning, what did you do with funds? Like, why did y'all spend so money traveling? Why did y'all spend so much money traveling? What happened with the cancer foundation? Different things like that. So they think that she may be conniving. But somebody said in her comments, they said, people may not like you, but I think a lot of people dislike what was done to you. On the other hand, you've been locking people out and leaving them outside too. You can't have it both ways. So I said, ooh. So that was a little true, because some people said that Tiffany did leave them outside, but I feel like, okay, outside of a meeting, that's completely different. I know that people come there with a lot of ruckus, and what I believe with Tiffany, now listen, Tiffany Henyard has become online punching bag for people to do content, make content, talk about her, get paid. People have made thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars off of her name. I get it though. This is the nature of social media and, YouTube. This is what people do. It's a clickable topic and people are going to watch it, right? But the thing is that when it comes to that, she says that a lot of people show up to meetings that have nothing to do with the village of Dalton. It's come like a celebrity type of social media thing. So I think why they keep a lot of people outside is because it does contribute to the drama. But unfortunately, you got to let people in, It's nothing that you could pretty much do about that. But listen, I'm interested to see what's going to happen moving forward with Tiffany Henyard. I wonder, are they going to put her name? She says she seems pretty adamant, like, she's marching. She's doing a little 1-2 to do the things that she needs to do. I want to see if they're going to put her name on the ballot. And if she loses fair and square, let her lose fair and square. All I want to say to this too, if she's been misspending the money or whatever, right? I think, like I said in my other video, maybe she should admit to that, like, hey, like there were some mishaps or whatever, but I am your mayor, I am your supervisor, I'm your leader, I'm going to get this right. If you give me another chance, I'm going to correct it. But it's just like the people aren't getting that. I know Tiffany has mentioned before that there was a surplus in funds, and that she mentioned that there was a surplus in funds and that they were going to be doing something for the residents of Dalton or Thornton Township. I can't remember if it was related to the taxes, whether she was going to, I can't remember exactly what it was. If you know what I'm talking about, leave it in the comments, or I'll do my research and speak on it in the next video I'll do on her. But yeah, I'm really interested in wanting to know your comments on that. If you are a person who's following this story, how do you think Napoleon handled this? Even if you don't like Tiffany Henyard, I want a person to be objective in the comments. Don't just listen. We've all heard, and we heard about what Tiffany did. We seen that the foundation got shut down. We seen the amounts and the dollars that they said that they spent on the business trips for the people, the employees or whatever, right? We've heard of all of that. we know about the budgets and the, you know, things like that. I want you to tell me in the comments, being objective, do you feel like what Napoleon did was right? If they haven't had a caucus, if they've been voting in a primary for the last 30 years and you pull this caucus and 30 years later, that's not the precedent. It's really not. It may be legal, but it's not the precedent on how people vote. And I think that that should be looked into too. If Napoleon is going to win, let him win fair and square. But I think that Tiffany Henyard's name should have been on that ballot. Potent, pondering, never pandering. Please get in the comments. Let me know what you think about the Bahamas situation with Donald Trump as well. That's very interesting to me. And I don't say that I have a dislike for Donald Trump for doing that, but don't try to dump somebody else's problems on another country. Get them out of here and let them figure out what they're going to do on that side. If we need to figure out and fight why are, you know, say it's Venezuela and their country said they're not accepting them back. Are they not accepting them back because they fled the country? Well, they need to figure out whatever rules and laws that applies to. If a person tried to flee illegally, right? Maybe they're going to be jailed or whatever. I don't know what that looks like for them in the conditions, and I think it's messed up. And I'm not trying to come off that like, you know, I'm a person that doesn't have sympathy and empathy for the common person, but let them deal with that. You have to let them deal with it. Just like a lot of people feel as though that we need to let people handle their political, you know, wars or whatever in different countries. Let them handle that, right? Let them handle it. Potent, pondering. I'm up out of here. Subscribe to this channel. Get in the comments most of all and let me know what you think. And I'll be doing some more uploads today, all right? Peace.